RPGamer here at PAX 2013. We're here with Bill and Robert of Zeboyd Games talking about their newly unveiled, I guess you unveiled a little while ago, but now you've got platforms unveiled for Cosmic Star Heroine.
Yay!
So, what's the news?
Well,
drop it on us.
Oh, go
yeah,
ahead.
I'll go ahead. Okay, yeah, Cosmic Star Heroine. Yesterday we were at Indie's big PAX, Sony's Indie PAX party, and they announced that Cosmic Star Heroine is going to be making its exclusive console debut on the PS4 and Vita, and it will also be coming out on PC and Mac, because we love our fans who have brought us to this point, and we've gotten so much support on the PC and especially the Steam side of things. So we're really excited about that. We also showed a teaser trailer that we wanted to set up as kind of a Sega CD TurboGrafx type style cutscene, which is going to be showing up in the game. It'll be right before the title screen appears, just kind of get you psyched with some really cool music from Hyperduck, which did the soundtrack for our last RPG.
Yeah, this teaser is something I've been really excited about because, well, I mean, I've been busting my ass making it. I mean, it's a lot of work.
So you did all the animation, or?
I built, I would say I built all the assets in it, but we had a lot of help compositing it and rendering it with a friend of ours. His name is Dean Dodrill.
Oh, he made Dust and Legion Tale.
Yeah, and he's a pro at that stuff. I mean, he started hand making his own movie, so having him basically work with me a whole bunch in building that was awesome. It was a learning experience, and I'm going to take a lot of that knowledge and put it into the rest of the game cutscenes and the presentation. And it's exciting to be able to finally show it and talk about it, because Robert kept tweeting like, "Oh, this thing is so cool! I can't tell you what it is, but you should see it. It's so cool." So
people can go see it on like Sony's site right now.
Yeah, it's on the Sony blog.
It's on the PlayStation blog. IGN has an article about it with a link to the video.
I'm sure we'll have one up
and
too.
on our website has a link to the video and both articles on IGN and PlayStation blog. So.
All right, cool. So. For people who aren't familiar with the setup, what's up with Cosmic Star Heroine other than it stars a girl, I assume?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's an RPG, classic 16-bit style, heavily influenced by Chrono Trigger, Phantasy Star, some Suikoden elements in there just for good measure. And the premise is that the main character, Alyssa LaSalle, is top secret agent who saves the galaxy, as a job. And then she stumbles upon some information that the government didn't want anyone to have. So now they've kind of turned against her, and what they've done is actually revealed her identity to everyone. So now she's a superstar / the target of every evil organization in the galaxy. And so, you gotta, stay alive, try to set things right, save the galaxy again, that kind of thing. So, yeah, we're really excited about it. It's gonna be a bit more ambitious than our previous games. And
So what sort of graphical era are you shooting for this time?
For late Super Nintendo.
Late Super Nintendo.
Yeah, and when we say that, we're including Sega CD, TurboGrafx CD stuff, which a lot of people think, well, what's the distinction? Well, besides cutscenes and stuff like that, we're trying to incorporate a lot of things that people associate with that era, with the late 16-bit era, and then almost kind of crosses over into the early 32-bit era. So we're not talking about just Phantasy Star on the Sega Genesis. It's going to be more of the Chrono Trigger plus, that style, that level of detail is what we're shooting for, what I'm shooting for. That's a high target, don't get me wrong.
Like if Nintendo and Sony actually had gone through and made a Super Nintendo CD, that's kind of like what we're shooting for.
So we're gonna try and work in some things that give it a little bit more of a flair, I guess, and not just be purely strictly Super NES like style.
Okay.
And you can tell from the teaser and some of the assets we've released that it's clearly going for sort of that Sega CD style, like with the coloring and the resolution and stuff. And I'm excited about it because I think it's a really fun style to work with, and I'm also a huge fan of Chrono Trigger, like everybody.
Right.
I guess. But
It's kind of
this is-
required.
After doing games for 4 some odd years, however long it's been, and releasing 4 games, I feel like this is the first time I feel confident enough to actually do it. Like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, I thought, oh god, no, it would take me
Yeah,
3 years just to do the sprites. You know?
yeah, we had long conversations like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
Chrono Trigger is just like completely beyond us.
Yeah,
there's
a
no
little
way
team.
there's no way we could do this in like less than 5 years. But then
Right.
with each game we got better and better and got it more advanced while still keeping our times down
Yeah.
to a year or less. So yeah, we're finally confident. Yeah, we can do it this time. And yeah, we've got a bunch of Chrono Trigger style sprites in our engine already, and they're running around and they look so cool.
Yeah.
And
So it's not just the sprite. Sprites are a big thing. People associate a game's age and era with the size of the sprites, which sounds silly because that's a little bit arbitrary. But so those are awesome because they're well animated. There's a lot of detail you can put into them. But it's also about like, the maps and how lighting is handled and how not just how things animate, but how they move around the map. So there's more of a free movement system that we've already got working. and
yeah,
things like that,
they're not
so.
grid based like
Yeah.
tile based like our previous
Exactly.
games. You can
Yeah.
go diagonal. Woo.
Yeah, so with all that and then the cutscenes we're doing and stuff, I think it's going to be cool.
Now, you guys previously, did you rate your games in like XNA? Did you use that for your games, or were you
Yeah.
making your own engines?
With our previous games, we did XNA using C#, and I mean XNA is just a really, really broad
Sure.
system. So we had to make our own RPG engine within
right.
XNA. For this, we've switched over to Unity,
Oh, okay.
which just because it makes it so much easier to do multiple
Well,
platforms
XNA is
at the
going
same
away
time.
or whatever, right? So.
Yeah, and XNA, Microsoft
Yeah,
stopped
exactly.
updating
Yeah.
it a year or two ago anyway. So, yeah, and Sony, they've announced a few times, but at the party yesterday, they announced like PlayStation Vita, Unity's coming to that like in a week or two.
Oh, awesome.
And PS4, I don't remember the exact date they said, but it was like January, February. It was like early 2014. It's going to have Unity support for PS4.
So that's the earliest we'd see your game, then, I
Well,
assume.
yeah.
Well.
Well, I mean, we just started on it a
Oh, okay.
month or two ago,
Yeah.
so it's not going to come out till the later half of
Later half of
2014
2014, okay.
Yeah.
anyway. But yeah, it's really exciting because I mean we're working on the PC right now, but we're hoping to start testing it on the Vita very soon, and then on PS4 as soon as we get get the Unity stuff in.
Yeah.
Now, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say it's exciting to do Unity because now we can support these platforms and it's not a pain. It's not a pain in the sense that XNA was only a Microsoft thing. Xbox, Windows. Anything else you have to kind of go through mono game or jerry rig something by porting it to something else.
And XNA was
Yeah.
really good for
Oh, it's
Xbox
great.
and Windows,
It's great.
but it wasn't really.
It wasn't really made for iPad.
Yeah.
No, yeah, you couldn't do. And yeah, I mean, we're not particularly looking in the mobile market right
So you guys
now,
done with
'cause
iPad and iPhone stuff then?
Not. I mean, we're gonna.
Not quite.
I mean, I think if
It's
we
the sort of thing
make
you'd port
something
to it
for
later, maybe,
iPad or Android or all that, I really think it should be designed for it in the first
okay.
place. I think if you just take something that was designed for traditional console or PC, that's not going to work as well with a purely touch-based interface. So we might consider porting this to mobile later, but that would definitely require a lot of work to redo the interface, the controls. Probably we'd have to redo a bunch of the engine stuff too, just because there's a lot lower requirement ceiling for that kind of thing. You have way more RAM on something like the PC or the PS4 than you would have on your average iPad or
Yeah, sure.
iPhone.
And just because Unity supports iOS and Android inherently doesn't mean it's as simple as clicking a button to make
Give me
a
an
good
iPad
app.
game.
Yeah, you can probably get it to deploy on those platforms with a few clicks, maybe, assuming nothing else goes wrong. But
yeah,
there's
if
a
it's
whole-
running at like 10 frames per second,
Right.
you're
Is that
obviously
really
going to
good?
have to
Yeah.
And
make
it's
a
not-
lot of changes.
And it's not just controls, which are absolutely crucial to get right. It's also interface, because you might take something on a computer screen or TV that looks fine, looks great, looks easy to read. You put it on a screen this big, and now you have to revamp your UI, change how your text works in the engine, blah,
Change
blah, blah.
all your fonts, that kind of thing.
So I'm not complaining, and I'm not saying we won't support mobile ever. It's just if we do it, it's not a small task, and it's something we want to do right.
You're going to do it right, so it's
And-
going to take time, and so it can't be part of your initial
Yeah,
focus.
we want
Right,
to
and-
focus on doing this first, the way we want to on Vita.
Maybe if you
PS4
had
and
50
PC.
people on your team, you could.
Yeah, easy
of
stuff.
course. Yeah.
And I mean, and with our last game, the mobile sales weren't amazing.
Okay.
So there isn't really that huge incentive from us on a,
Well,
tactical perspective.
because you're not making free-to-play card-based RPGs. Is
Exactly.
The problem.
I mean,
what you needed
the
to
free
do.
to play seems to be doing really well if you hit the jackpot. But
We should have made Rain Slick 4 free to play, but you have to pay $1 to unlock each monster.
yeah, that would have been really
Character
stupid.
costumes.
No, I'm kidding. It's awful. Never mind.
No. So, so you're targeting PS4 and Vita. Late 2014, PS4 will have only been out for about a year. I would think that the PS3 install base would still be equal or higher to the PS4's install base at that point.
Definitely, yeah.
But no plans to go for PS3?
Well, no plans with PS3. Just, I mean, we don't have anything on the PSN right now, but looking at our sales and from other developers we've talked to, Xbox 360 sales are really starting to drop quickly.
Yeah.
Just because everyone's starting to focus on the next generation of consoles.
Okay.
And I imagine PSN is the same
It's gonna
way,
go the
where
same way?
like PS3, even though it does have that huge install base, unless you're like The Last of Us, one of the big budget, high profile, tons of marketing games, I'm guessing the sales aren't as good as they were last year, and I'm sure next year they're going to be much worse than they are now. Plus, I mean, with PS3, we have no experience working on it, so we'd go to the trouble of porting it with Unity to PS3, and that's all time that's completely useless for our next game, because I mean, we're not going to release something in 2015 or 16 that's on
Whereas
the PS3.
work on the PS4 architecture could probably be put towards the PC,
Exactly.
and not that you're announcing anything,
Right.
potentially an Xbox One if whatever was
Yeah,
in-
I mean,
yeah.
and our next game, we can put it to the PS4 easy, because we've
Yeah,
already done the last
exactly.
one. And, if we want to do some port Cosmic Star Heroine to Xbox One or the Wii U, then, that's probably not going to be too difficult. But, yeah, PS3, we think. We haven't looked into it
It's
too
hard to know
hard.
until
I
you
mean,
get your hands on it.
yeah,
You're
I mean,
right.
hopefully we'll be able to get one of those dev kits they were talking about.
Yeah,
But-
I actually wanted to ask you, so you guys obviously have a good relationship with Sony, and going on with that, have you guys checked out this Xbox ID stuff? Is there anything there? Are you excited about that?
Listen,
or nothing?
I filled out their form when they announced it. I haven't heard anything back from them, just because, I mean, I'm sure they're completely swamped right now.
Yeah,
'cause,
okay.
I mean, they said, hey, indie developers, come develop for us. So, yeah, that's definitely something we're looking into.
Okay.
Like you said, it's making its console exclusive debut on PS4 and Vita. So it'll be there first, along with PC. Is going to come out at the same time in Mac. But there's nothing in our contract that says it has to stay there forever. So,
Right.
we can look at Xbox, and if it looks like a good fit, and if the platform's healthy, we can, consider porting it over, later the year.
Okay.
One of the main issues for us and most indie developers that we've talked to is that Microsoft just came out with ID at Xbox.
Yeah.
They said, boom, here it is, sign up, peace out. And so everyone's kind of like, head is spinning a little bit after you have to have a publisher, you have to have a publisher. To this,
Yeah.
it almost feels like we don't really know enough to make these hard set plans yet. And a lot of
Right.
developers have already have dev kits for PS4 and Wii U and Vita, and they've already been working on their PC versions, and they've started. They've got that momentum going. So this is kind of
Yeah, I mean, with Sony, we had been talking to them for months before the whole Xbox ID thing had been announced.
Oh,
so,
okay.
I mean, our plans were already set. If they had announced the Xbox thing earlier, maybe a year ago, then maybe we would have made a different decision. But Sony's been really great to us, and we've been working with Shane over there, who's a huge RPG fan, and he's like, "Oh, I love what you guys are doing," and he's like, "I can't talk Sega into making a new Phantasy Star, but I mean, this is close enough. I'll take this."
that said, Xbox has been great for our company. We started there.
Yeah.
We would want to support Xbox One. I mean, sure, why not? It's great. It's a platform. We started with it. We probably have a bunch of fans there.
Yeah.
It's just the timing and the things that they announced previously and that they've announced now.
Yeah.
We need a lot more information, and Sony has been super open about everything to us and working with us a lot. So that's been easy. And Xbox One, we're just now hearing things.
Yeah, I think it's good to remind people that with the internet age, we're used to information comes out. Obviously, you should know everything that you need to know and make a decision by the end of the day that it was announced. And people realize that these development decisions take months of time. So it's good to remind people that.
Right,
I think.
and,
So-
and a lot of detail.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah, I
we
mean-
don't really necessarily have.
But I was really pleased to see that they stuck Chris Charla or Carla, I don't know how you pronounce his last name, in charge of the whole indie thing, because I've talked to him before at GDC and listened to him talk, and he seems to know what he's doing. I mean, he really knows the whole publisher-developer relations, and he seems really enthusiastic about getting a bunch of indie developers on board. So hopefully that'll turn into a really good program. But like we said, we don't know any details right now other than what everybody else knows.
Right.
So back to the PS4 for a second. Have you guys gotten a chance to use that hardware yet, or is that still to come?
You mean
Dev
development
kits on
on
it? Yeah.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Not yet.
Oh,
We're,
yeah.
s- we're
Yeah.
getting our feet wet with Unity still. So it's
Okay.
Yeah, we're still getting our engine up and running, and stuff I probably shouldn't be talking about.
yeah. The gist of it is we're still pretty early in development. So the specifics for PS4 and Vita will probably come at least a little bit later.
A little bit. Okay. So
But yeah, when we need it, we'll get all the equipment, and it won't be a
that
problem.
Won't be a problem.
So you guys funding this game all with the Penny Arcade game money, or are you going to do another Kickstarter for this, or what's your plans?
We're going to use as much of our money that we can afford to spend without, going out on the street. But no, we've got a Kickstarter planned
Oh, all right.
for September. I think we're shooting for like mid-September, a couple weeks
mid to
in.
late, around there.
Yeah, so we're really excited about that.
Okay.
As part of our agreement with Sony, we managed to talk them into giving us a bunch of PSN codes
that's
to
good.
use as rewards. So
Yeah.
$10 will get you either the computer version or the PSN version, and that will be cross-buy. So you buy it once, you get the PS4 and the Vita version as
Excellent.
part of that purchase. So. Yeah, it's going to be $10 whole, way more expensive than our other games.
So the Kickstarter is going to make this be the game we want it to be.
Yeah.
We could just keep making games how we have been in the past 4 years, which is royalties and income from previous games are basically paying our bills to make the next one. We could probably keep doing that.
And rush and hurry and finish the game quickly before we
Right.
run out of money.
Right. and
But
we-
this will
we
let
may-
you basically skip a couple games in that cycle to get to a higher quality level.
Yeah, which
right?
which means that we can focus on certain stuff. We can spend more time on the things that make this one game really good instead of having to make these decisions on, okay, we have to focus on this content now, and we have to scrap doing this aspect of the game to get it out in 6 to 10 months. So with the Kickstarter, it's going to give us more time, and that's going to let us focus more on it, and it's going to help us. We haven't worked out all of the specifics on it, but definitely music is a big thing, especially with our games. And we want Hyperduck. We want to get them again. They're awesome. They've got incredible history of games. They were awesome to work with Rainslick 4.
Yeah, and they've said they want to sign on. It's just a matter of how much money we can raise and send their way. I mean, because they got to make a living too.
Right,
and,
right.
Yeah, they've been doing great stuff. They did our last game. They did Dust. They did. I think they worked on Scrolls from Mojang that is in beta, I think, right now, and Kingdom Rush, the sequel to that, they did the music for. So I mean, they're really working their way up as far as indie music composers go. So yeah, we want to be able to get them on board and give them enough money that they can make this epic 3 CD soundtrack or whatever. I don't know.
They're an awesome sound team too. It's not just music, but they're pros at sound design.
Yeah.
I think they did the full sound design for Dust. I'm pretty sure they.
Yeah, I think they did. I don't think they did the voice stuff.
Oh no!
But
I
the
mean,
sound effects, I think.
right,
Yeah, they
so-
handled all that stuff.
Yeah, so getting them to work with us on that, and then have this epic soundtrack. It's all a part of this big plan we have. We just have to make sure, hopefully Kickstarter
So
works out.
how does that work out with Kickstarter? Does it seems to me, look, outsider, I don't know how to develop. looking in, when a Kickstarter gets funded and hits like 2, 3, 4 stretch goals, whatever plan you had needs to be doubled or tripled as far as development time. Are you guys able to plan ahead of time, including those stretch goals, or do you think that, well, we think it'll take a year, but now with the stretch goals, it might even take longer?
For my current plan with that is that with the Kickstarter, we'll say, like, we will get you the game in 2014. You know, like December 2014, we'll get it to you. And if we manage to finish it early, great. But you know, give us a little leeway if we get, you know, I mean, we're going to be shooting for 100,000, but you know, if we get 500,000, well, then you know, we might have to make a few changes. People are going to expect a little higher quality.
So what do you think is the right way to handle that? Put out an early version of the game by when you originally promised, or push and have the whole thing?
My personal opinion would be to try to release it when you say you're going to release it, and then, you know, if you have some extra money, maybe do a free DLC add-on to the game after it comes out.
Okay.
Like, I mean, we did that with Cthulhu Saves the World, where we added a whole second quest to the game, and with Precipice of Darkness 3, we added a prologue scenario that takes like an hour or two, that because you know, stuff that we wanted to put in the game to begin with, but you know, we had to release at a certain time. So I think that is a really good way to handle that kind of getting more money than you were expecting. I mean, because I mean, our goal is 100,000. I think we'll exceed it easily, just because.
Well.
Just because, I mean, this is the kind of game a lot of people want.
Yeah.
I mean, and people, I don't want to sound like we're bragging or anything. I mean, it's
there's a lot of developers out there who'd love to be able to feel confident about raising 100,000.
I just say, because our previous games, they've all done pretty well. And we've got Sony backing us, which gives us a lot of viewers. And so I think our Kickstarter is going to go really well. I have no clue how well it will go. But yeah, I'm not too worried about meeting our initial goal. So I just hope that, everyone is very supportive of it, and we don't go crazy with power and decide to, you know, take 3 years on this.
I'll just add 2 things, which is, I think when people back a Kickstarter project, generally speaking, what they want to get out of it is the thing that was initially pitched to them. So if you get funded, you know, way more than you initially asked for, even with that, there is an expectation, you've got all this money, you'll do more with it. But I still think, generally speaking, most people said, that looks cool, I want that. Don't change it too much.
Okay.
Use the money to do something to make it better, but don't blow it up into this thing that's going to totally change what we were backing in the first place. The other thing I'm going to say is, I humbly hope that we meet our Kickstarter goal. I mean,
he's the very pessimistic one
out
of our group.
I don't think it's
I'm
pessimistic.
very optimistic. But
I'm optimistic about everything we do. I just have these conservative expectations and hopes, and I think most people believe 100,000 is a lot of money. I think it is. Will we make it? I really hope so. And
the reality is, in game development, it's not a lot of money, right?
In game development, 100,000 is, you know, like a month or 2 of development at a big studio.
If that.
If that,
A small studio, it goes a lot further. But after, there's a lot of things involved.
You got to pay Kickstarter, you got to pay Amazon, you got to actually pay to ship everything you promised you would send.
Support your families.
And then, once you're done with all that, then, you know, you can pay, you know, and, you know, hire additional people for contract work.
So what you're saying is you're not going to have 25 tiers of expensive physical rewards that you can't fulfill?
No, I mean, with the physical rewards so far, the only thing we've definitely planning are posters, T-shirts, and we wanted to do a physical copy of my Choose Your Own Adventure style text novels that I did on Xbox before we started doing RPGs. We thought that'd be kind of cool. And Bill's going to draw some new art for them because my art's really, really bad. It's all stick figures. And, but all the physical rewards are going to be $100 or higher tiers. We're going to keep the lower tiers digital just because we've seen other Kickstarters where they're too generous with their physical rewards, and
We'll
then
sink 'em.
and then you're spending half your money on physical rewards, and you don't have enough money left to actually make the game that everyone kickstarted. So, yeah, I mean, Kickstarter, there's a lot of traps you can fall into, but I mean, we did a successful Kickstarter before Kickstarter became popular, which, so I don't even remember. It was under 10,000 that it
was
it
6
raised.
or 7 or 8, that range.
And a good chunk of that was Penny Arcade, actually, because they liked us. Before we did our game for them. But yeah, I mean, we're really hopeful that the Kickstarter is going to go well. There's a lot of stuff we could do if we had tons of money. I mean, just being able to hire additional help would be a huge help. And
Okay. So I'm obsessed with knowing what the craziest rewards on Kickstarter are for any project. So do you have like some $10,000 or $20,000 tier where you'll fly out to my house, giving me a massage, write my own personal game for me? Like, do you have anything planned of that crazy sort?
I wouldn't say crazy.
Yeah, I don't think we have anything planned like that. I think I'd feel pretty much guilty if somebody sent us 10,000 just by themselves, and unless I knew that they were independently wealthy. I mean, I would feel kind of bad. It's like, what are you sending us $10,000 for? I mean,
their money.
It's your money. I mean, I feel okay you sending us $10 or even $100 because I mean we'll send you some cool swag and give you some bonuses plus
Maybe they want to get in the world of angel investing, and this is the easiest way,
Yeah, I mean, we can't give them royalties or anything. That's not allowed. So yeah, we don't have anything super crazy planned, though. I mean, if you have any cool ideas, I'm not very good at massages. But
Well, I got no ideas. All right. Well, anything else people should know about your Kickstarter, or where should they be following you guys?
Well, our website is zeboyd.com, and you can follow us there. We do regular development blogs, talk about ideas, show off artwork, that kind of thing, and of course announcements on when the Kickstarter is going to be. PlayStation blog will be having an article when the Kickstarter goes up.
All right.
We're also on Twitter. Mine's Where's Zompire. And there's also an official Zeboyd Games Twitter account that you can follow, and Bill's got one, Bill at Zeboyd.
With underscores.
Bill_AT_Zeboyd on Twitter.
Yeah, the Cosmic Star Heroine Twitter is CS, I think it's an _heroine. Because they wouldn't let us put the whole name written out.
We also have a Facebook, which we post when we have updates on our blog and certain news, too. So. Trying to cover all the bases. Sweet.
Also, our last 2 games are currently on sale on Steam right now, 50% off.
How long will people have for that?
It started the day before PAX, and it's going to end Tuesday morning.
Okay.
So yeah, just a little bit of time. If you're at PAX, you can go home. And
Penny Arcade 3 and 4.
3 and 4, they're 50% off. The combo pack with both of them is 50% off. So
Sweet.
$4 will get you both games, or $2.50
So if you're at home
for each
and you
one.
want to experience Gabe and Tycho, that's it. That's the way.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you very much, guys. It's good talking to you.
Yeah, you too.
Stay tuned for more from RPGamer at PAX 2013.